Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 Kindergarten Readiness Common Question and Answer Forum. This is where we have a collaborative community approach to questions that are commonly asked as families and children are about to enter kindergarten. This is featuring Henderson County Public Schools, as well as Western Carolina Community Action. And you'll hear about 21 of commonly asked questions, and you'll hear administrators, principals, kindergarten teachers, and preschool teachers all answering those questions, hopefully providing helpful information as we move forward to a wonderful new school year, a 2021-22 school year. Okay, let's begin. So our first question we're going to approach today is, how will I know what school my child will attend?
So I'm going to answer that question. If you register online at kreg, that's kreg.hcpsnc.org, you can enter "I'm not sure" on the question that asks about what school your child will attend. Based on your physical address, the appropriate school will then contact you. Or if you want to know sooner than that, you can call the Henderson County Public Schools Transportation Department at 828-697-4739.
Great, thank you. When will we know who our child's teacher is?
So I'm going to answer that. Most schools will let you know a few weeks before school will start. You need to be on the lookout for information from your exact school a week or 2 weeks before school starts, and you'll find that out.
Great, thank you. And Ashley is a principal at Upward Elementary. Is that correct, Ashley?
Sugarloaf Elementary.
Sugarloaf Elementary, thanks so much. Will we get to meet the teachers before school?
Oh, you're muted.
You can also, most schools do have a meet and greet, and that will happen before school as well. That information will come about a week or two before.
Okay, hi, my name is Deidre Redden. I'm a kindergarten teacher at Mills River Elementary. And yes, your child and yourself will get to meet the child's teacher before the start of school. Schools are different. Sometimes you may get a letter and the teacher's going to introduce themselves prior to the start of the school year. And they may have a time when you can come in and meet them. So once you're registered, you can be in communication with the principal and your child's teacher.
Great, thank you. If my child is old enough to go to kindergarten, but is behind academically or in letters or skills, should I wait another year?
I'll answer that. I'm Tori Schaefer from Bruce Drysdale Elementary. Determining if you want to wait to enroll your child, of course, is a parent's decision, but there's always a wide range of students in our classrooms. And we work with parents to ensure that every child reaches milestones as close to expectations as possible. If you do want to practice some skills before kindergarten, here's a list of some options for you. You can sit together and have your child turn the pages of a book while you read to your child. You can recite or even sing the alphabet. You can practice writing your child's name using both upper and lowercase letters. Also, practice counting to 10 or even to 20 if your child can. Some very important skills also would be practicing buttoning and zipping your child's own, so that they can put on their own clothes after using the bathroom. Shirts and jackets, practice putting those on, and practice putting on shoes, not tying. They don't need to be able to tie their shoes, but practice putting on shoes would be helpful. As we said, these are not required, but they will help your child prepare for kindergarten.
Great, thank you. Very useful information. Last year, Henderson County Public Schools provided a calendar with activities for families. It was through April through June. Will they be doing that again?
So I'll take that question. Again, I may not have mentioned it before. My name is Shannon Marlowe. I'm the Director for Elementary Education and Title I in Henderson County Schools. And that's why these are my favorite questions. So last year, we created the calendar that had activities. If you register online at the kreg readiness.hcpsnc.org site, then you will immediately, after you register, receive one of those calendars. If you need a paper copy, you can contact the school or you can call our central office at 828-697-4733, and we will find a way to get one to you. I think there might have actually been a question before that one about when kindergarten registration is. And that question is, we've actually already had kindergarten registration and we have it all through the spring. So you can register online again at kreg.hcpsnc.org. But if you don't have access to a computer or the internet, you can give the school that you believe you'll be attending a phone call and plan a time to register there online instead. When you register online, you will be sent the remaining forms that you will need to fill out and return to the school, or that school can provide them for you. And then also, if you have a child who needs to take a physical at their age 5 physical, those do not have to be done by the time school starts. It can be within a year of the beginning of school prior to beginning. After the school year starts, they have to have it done within a certain number of days. So it's good to go ahead and get that out of the way first.
Will they have kindergarten readiness rally this year?
Unfortunately, this year, Smart Start, who organizes the Kindergarten Readiness Rally, has decided due to COVID, they will not hold the rally this year. However, they have decided to do readiness bags, and all kindergartners that are registered will receive one of those readiness bags in the spring. Your school that your child will attend will be in contact with you on how you're going to receive those, but those will be received before teachers go home in June.
And do you have a little information of what might be in that bag?
I can actually help with that question. Each bag will have items like counting cubes in different colors, a string to be able to string those cubes. They'll have a book for children to read, pencils with pencil grips, pencil sharpeners, documents that have our Letterland characters. That's the phonics program that we use in Henderson County schools. They will also have the bag themselves, as well as some other little odds and ends that I think children will find exciting as they begin to get ready for their kindergarten year.
What is my child expected to know and or be able to do when entering kindergarten? We kind of touched on that, but are there any more thoughts on this?
I have some more thoughts on that. My name is Amy Paulson, and I'm a kindergarten teacher at Sugarloaf Elementary. Some skills that are helpful when entering kindergarten include basic self-help skills, which were kind of touched on before. Things such as being able to put on a jacket independently, buttoning and or zipping that jacket, packing up a book bag, unpacking a book bag. If your child is going to carry a lunch to and from school, make sure your child can open the majority of items in that lunchbox independently. Some other skills would be able to voice needs and wants, such as when they need to use the restroom, they need to be able to ask their teacher, may I please use the restroom? And then of course, being able to use the restroom independently is also a very important skill for children to have. Basic academic skills, such as recognizing letters, being able to count to maybe 10 or even 20 if your child can, those are also helpful, but there is no specific academic level required prior to your child starting kindergarten.
When will the school year start and how do we access that school calendar?
The school calendar can be found at www.hcpsnc.org, and under parents, you'll find the school calendars. This next year's calendar is already up for you. Keep in mind, we have 2 elementary schools, Bruce Drysdale and Hendersonville Elementary, that are on a year-round schedule, and they will begin in July, where all others will begin in August 23rd for students this year.
Great. This is a question from a child, and do we have to take a nap?
Well, we don't really call it nap time here in kindergarten. We'll call it more of a rest time. It's a big, long day, especially coming from Smart Start or your 4-year-old program, or just coming from home and entering into school. So some schools, it kind of depends on them and the teachers and kind of feel out your class. We'll start with a rest time, and then we usually phase it out after a few weeks because we have a lot to learn.
Will we still be following COVID protocols this fall or have a virtual start?
Right now, we finally have all of our students back in the building on what we call Plan A. Our current protocols include wearing a face covering for everyone, washing their hands on a regular basis, and avoiding close contact to the highest extent possible. As well as more frequent cleaning schedules in schools. So of course, we're hopeful that next fall, we'll be able to start school face-to-face, just like a regular school year, but we anticipate that we may have some adjustments or precautions that we need to use just to prevent the spread of COVID-19. So like throughout the pandemic, our school system operations will be based on any guidance and direction that we receive from the CDC and the state, including any governor's executive orders and the North Carolina DHHS. In the event that any of this guidance changes, we'll continue to modify as needed to ensure a safe environment for our students and our staff.
And in addition, we just want to give parents some advice. If your child is not used to wearing a mask, please take some time over the summer to practice that. A good time to practice might be if your child is watching TV or is on electronics. Have them practice wearing a mask and try to build up some time, as during the day they'll be wearing the mask for several hours at a time. The good news is, however, that we found that masks don't bother most of the kids. They've gotten very used to them. They really don't seem to mind them at all. And we're just so happy to have the kids back in the building that we're gonna make sure that the masks are comfortable and that they're okay with them as well.
Great advice. Thank you. Who will tell me if we're going to have transportation and where will my child be picked up?
So once you register with your physical address, the transportation center will then begin to work on bus routes. If you are at your home school, your child will be eligible for bus transportation, and all that information will be available in August when you meet your teacher. So be sure to ask that question.
I do not speak English or understand English. Will someone be available to help me?
Hi, my name is Evelyn Alarcon. I'm the ESL Family Liaison, and the answer is yes. All schools have access to a phone interpreting system 24/7, and many schools have bilingual staff to help. All parents can also call or visit the ESL Family Center to request support anytime.
Are there resources provided to make sure my child will be ready to move into an English-speaking environment?
If you come from a multilingual home, your child will be given specific second language support at school. But please continue to use and practice your home language at home as much as you can.
With the virus, I'm afraid to send my child to school because he or she gets sick frequently. What should I do?
So all elementary schools have a school nurse, so be sure to talk to that school nurse about those concerns. She'll be glad to work with you on that. We also are continuously following North Carolina DHHS recommendations for cleaning and sanitizing at schools. So please ask any of those questions so that you feel more comfortable.
My child continues speech services once school starts, and I believe this question was based on private speech services.
So private services that are typically provided in early childcare are not the same as school-related services. The criteria that are used to determine school services are different from the criteria that are used to determine private services. So if you have this question, you're encouraged to contact the school and ask to speak to the speech therapist for additional information.
Great. What happens if my child has a meltdown during class? How will this be handled?
Transitions can be difficult for our new students, so we understand that this happens from time to time. How it is handled depends on resources and routines in a teacher's classroom. Every teacher is going to handle any situation differently. Sometimes it would depend on programs that are available at each school. This would be a great question to bring up once you know your child's teacher if you're worried about it. So during Meet the Teacher, if you are especially afraid of your child having excessive meltdowns, you can bring this up during that time. Kindergarten teachers are used to young children having big emotions though, especially at the beginning of the year when they are adjusting to so much change. So the teacher will work very hard to help and accommodate your child's needs based on their classroom routines. Always communicate with your child's teacher about anything that could cause your child to have a difficult day. For example, if they didn't get a lot of sleep the night before, if there has been a significant change within the home, those things could cause children to have meltdowns or to struggle during transitions more so than usual. So if you communicate those things to your child's teacher ahead of time, then it can really help your teacher out better with figuring out how to help your child. But always different situations call for different interventions. So that'll just be based on what your child's teacher feels is best.
Great, very useful. Will my child receive free lunch, and how is that decided?
Every year, families need to complete a meal application. This can be done online or by paper and pencil. You can receive the paper pencil at the beginning of the year. You can ask the school for that, or it's also online under the Parents tab. It's very important that even if you don't think you may use this or you don't think you qualify for this, this is a way that our elementary schools are federally funded based on those students that need free and reduced lunches. You'll receive a notification through a letter if your child qualifies for free and reduced lunch after that application has been filled out.
Great. Will my child receive extra help if they need it? They're struggling academically, possibly?
Yes, we provide supplemental support to any child who needs it. Most of the extra support will happen during the school day, although in some instances, tutoring is offered after school. Throughout the first quarter of kindergarten, academics are not focused on as much as social and developmental skills. We practice sitting still, we practice walking in a line, following directions, being kind to friends, and speaking out in regards to their personal needs. The second quarter of kindergarten, academics begin to play a more dominant role, and your child's teacher will have a conference with you at some point during the first or the beginning of the second quarter, and you'll be updated on how your child is performing in kindergarten. If your child is struggling, your teacher will inform you about interventions and supports that we can give to your child, so don't worry about that.
How often and how will I be communicated with?
All right, hi, Ms. Redden again from Mills River Elementary. This will depend on the process your child's teacher shares at the beginning of the year. It's not uncommon to receive at least some form of communication daily. And when I say communication, this can be in the form of emails, newsletters. Some schools have something called an agenda, which goes back and forth each day. So phone calls as well. But it's you as a parent that we would love to hear from you as well if you have any questions or concerns or just something to share.
Open communication is so important. Thank you. Are children assigned to a school if they get to pick which one they would like to attend?
So students are assigned to schools based on the physical address at which you live. But if you prefer to attend a school that's outside of your assigned district, you can complete a reassignment form. You can find those on the Henderson County Public Schools website, which is www.hcpsnc.org. That form will need to be completed and delivered to the school that you wish to attend. So acceptance for reassignment is based on available space. Just keep in mind that we have 2 year-round schools that will begin in July. That's Bruce Drysdale and Hendersonville Elementary. Hendersonville does not have an assigned district, so if you wish to attend, that reassignment form must be submitted to them during the month of April for the lottery that will be held in early May. Bruce Drysdale Elementary also has a dual language program, and the lottery for that is also held in early May. If you're in the Bruce Drysdale district, you can apply for the dual language program. If you're not in that district, you do have to complete the reassignment form. Just indicate that you wish to enroll in the lottery for dual language. So you'll be contacted if your child is chosen in the lottery for any of those programs and for any school that you wish to attend and have expressed interest.
Finally, what is some good advice teachers can offer to families? This is open for any teacher to answer.
I'm actually going to jump in really quickly and just say, if you haven't already registered your child for kindergarten, please be sure to do that as soon as possible. Not only does it get you on the list for your child's school, so that if they have anything special coming up, they will have you on their list for communication, but it also helps the district plan for the coming year, making sure that we have even just the correct number of kindergarten teachers coming to us for in every school for every child that we expect to see.
And my advice to parents is be positive. It's natural for you to have concerns and be a little anxious, especially if this is your first child coming to kindergarten. But the more excited that you are, the more excited that your child will be. So just remember that your child will emulate your feelings. And also keep the lines of communication open with your child's teacher. As teachers, we are here for you as well as your child. So please let us know if you have any questions or concerns throughout the year.
Hi, I'm Ashley Newcomer. I'm the principal at Sugarloaf Elementary School. And I just say, be sure to get involved in your child's elementary experience. We're always looking for parent volunteers. We're always looking for those people that want to get involved. And it's super important that we work together for your child's success. So feel free to get involved and volunteer as much as you'd like.
My advice for families is just to continue practicing building those independent skills with your child. The more independent they can be before kindergarten, the more successful that they would be. So things like using the bathroom, putting on clothes, and also working on opening snack items or lunchbox items are very helpful before kindergarten.
Hey, I'm Destiny Pate. I'm an NC Pre-K teacher at WCCA. My advice for parents would be that you set the tone for your child's experience in school. So just remember that when you're talking to them about their new adventure of kindergarten and try to keep it positive.
Hi, Ms. Redden from Mills River. My favorite advice is just to take the time and talk to your children. That means so much. Have conversations with them. This helps them feel important, gain confidence, and it leads to independence. This is extremely important. And you know what? They're going to have a great time in kindergarten.
All great advice. Thank you. Here's some additional contact information, the website, and then that question about transportation. There's the department number, and as well as a list of the elementary schools in the district. So that is also available on the website, but quick reference for you here. We want to say thank you for joining us today. These were some pretty big questions asked by local community families, and they were answered so beautifully by Henderson County Public School team as well as WCCA. So thank you for taking the time to watch this, and hopefully some of those pertinent questions were answered for you today. Thanks, everyone.